Welcome to the How Good It Can Get podcast, where we dive deep into the transformative journey from surviving to thriving. Join me, your host, Andrea Rice, on this empowering exploration of mindfulness, spirituality, and unlocking your full potential. Let me show you just how good it can get. Hello, and welcome back to How Good It Can Get. I am your host, Andrea Rice, and I am super excited to have a special guest with me here today. But before I get into that, I do want to say hello to everyone out there listening. 14 countries now. I can't even believe that. So thank you. I appreciate everyone out there who has listened to one episode or all of the episodes. I really appreciate it. Everyone from the US, Canada, Russia, India, just Philippines, Costa Rica, the list goes on and on. Thank you. Thank you for listening. And today we are going to talk a little bit about positivity and purpose. And my guest today is DJ Larry Jones from the Power Hour. Larry, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me here today. It's my pleasure.
Yes, I've been lucky enough to be on your podcast, the Power Hour.
Yes. And it was a pleasure having you on. It's always a pleasure having you on. So how have you been doing? I see you're doing great things.
Yes, so busy, with this podcast. I am doing Enlightenment Unknown Life of a Spiritual Nomad with my friend Wes. So we got that going on and just, a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So what's been going on with you?
A lot of interviews, work, more interviews. But I love it. I love doing what I do. I'm just talking to all sorts of people, meeting all sorts of people, and it's all positive vibes. You know what I mean? On my show, we don't do drama. We don't do gossip. We do straight talk. You know what I mean? And it's all about helping someone else. So if someone is watching my shows, by the time it goes off, they should have got something out of it. I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll get something out of it that they can put in their life.
Yeah, and that's what I love about your show, Larry, and about you in particular is I remember the first time we spoke and you said that was what you were trying to do is just like put some positivity out in the world. And so I just wanted to ask, was that your motivation for starting your show is to just be a positive voice among all the noise? What made you start?
You know what? No, that in the beginning, that wasn't the goal at all. I started doing celebrity interviews and stuff like that. But after a while, I felt like, okay, here's the thing. God brought me through a situation where I had a heart attack, right? So I felt like me doing celebrity interviews and gossip and stuff that's already set, the internet is already saturated with that kind of stuff. I felt as though I had a bigger purpose, and it was not to spread someone else's gossip. It was to kind of spread awareness on how people can maybe live better, eat better, feel better, because of what I'm going through and the way I feel now. So, and now that was my message. So that's what I started doing. I started getting more into health and wellness, having more guests on my show that pertain to health and wellness. Now, it's not all health and wellness. I do sprinkle some celebrity guests in every now and again. But other than that, that's what motivated me was my own situation.
Yeah, I find that so interesting. I didn't know that, Larry. I didn't know that. And I do think that a lot of times when we have something that is so personal or, traumatic, I mean, it really changes us, hopefully for the better. It want to put some positivity in the world. I know that's what happened with my situation as well, going through a divorce and just all of the changes on how I worked through that is how I started How Good It Can Get. So I find that really interesting.
Yeah, it can get really good. If you know what I mean, things can get really good or it can get really bad. It only depends which direction, your life is going in. I could have took a turn for the worse if I would have kept living the lifestyle I was living that got me to the point of a heart attack. I was eating like crazy, wasn't resting. Well, just staying up now. I'm not a drinker. I don't drink or smoke or anything like that. But the thing about it is if you're not getting enough sleep and you have a poor diet, that not, that's not good. So I changed my diet, changed my sleep pattern. You know, vitamins for me is the key. Vitamins, 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 plenty of water, you know. Hey, fruits and vegetables, and you'll be fine.
Yes. Yes. I know for me, sleep is not an issue. I get plenty of sleep.
But how
The
you
other
can
night I was in bed at 8 o'clock. My neighbor texted me. She's like, "Oh, did you? I hope I wasn't too loud." I was like, "I was asleep." And sure.
You've been looking well, though. It looks like you've been taking care of yourself pretty good.
Oh, I try, Larry. I try, but I think what's helped me the most is I used to have a really bad sweet tooth,
Oh,
and that was a real problem for me. And then just one day, about a year ago, I was like, "Man, I don't care so much for sweets anymore." It's
yes.
really weird. Just kind of switched off. So
Right.
I think I was just lucky with that.
Yes, there is, because sugar is like one of the biggest drugs in America. And, that's really addictive. And sometimes I still struggle with it, but I don't eat nearly as much, like, as far as sweets is concerned. I don't eat nearly as much. So that's the key to it. A lot of people say they want to lose weight, they want to get in shape or whatever the case may be. But little do they know, if you just cut out the sugary substances, bread, starch, if you just scale back on that, you'll be surprised how much weight you lose.
Yeah, I saw seen ones that said when you go to the grocery store, just don't go down any of the aisles. Go along all the
The
outside.
outside, yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's so true. That's so true. Now, am I perfect with it? No, I'm not. I'm not. Now, here's what I do on the weekends. I do indulge. I'll go out, maybe to a restaurant or something like that, or I'll just stay home and make sandwiches and eat potato chips. But Sunday, I stop. I get all of that in on Saturday. But Sunday through Friday, no, it's smoothies, water, eat once or twice a day, and vitamins, and I'm good.
Yeah, you gotta let yourself have a little bit of a cheat day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can't, torture yourself. That's
Yeah.
good.
Everything in moderation, right?
Right, right, right.
So Larry, I just want to ask you, what has been the most impactful episode that you've done?
Oh, I've done so many. Let me see. There was two, actually. The first one was a young lady. She and her husband, boyfriend at the time, were coming home. I think she said from Walmart. He was into some really bad stuff, right? And they were getting ready to pull in their garage. And as they were turning in, a guy was standing in front of their car, just standing there. So she said her boyfriend was blowing the horn, telling him to get out the way, get out the way. Can I help him get out the way? And he just stood there. Meanwhile, another car comes behind them and sort of traps him in there. Now, the guy that was standing there pulls out a gun and unloads like 40 something shots into the car.
Oh my gosh.
You know, unfortunately, the guy passed away. She was shot, I think, maybe 17 times all over her. I mean, her face, she, it was pretty bad.
Unbelievable.
Pretty bad. And she came on the show. How I found her was I was just scrolling, I believe, on TikTok, and I saw this woman. She had some scars and stuff, and she was just crying, crying, crying. And so something said, reach out to her. So I reached out to her. I said, listen, I saw you crying, and we talked and everything, and she did the show. Now, the second one was a young woman was abducted, and she was held, sex trafficked. Now, the crazy thing was she was dropped off at a bus station. If I can remember the story correctly, it's been so long ago since I've done the interview, but she was dropped off at a bus station by her grandparents, I believe, and they left her there. So, and she was there all night long until an elderly couple, older than her, came and said, well, can we take you somewhere? I'm lost? Or she said, no, I had nowhere to go. So they said, well, you can come stay with us, And she said, well, thank you. She had nowhere to go. It was raining. It was late night. And they stayed with her. They said, well, we have a room just downstairs in our basement. We'll set it up nice for you. So she went down there and it was set up pretty nice. But when they went back upstairs, she heard the basement door lock. Click, click, click. And it was over from there.
Wow.
She went through the whole story of how she escaped, and it was a long story, but she wrote a book about it. Um, and I stopped me with the book. It's been so long ago, but I'll look it up and send it to you so you can share it with your viewers. But
Yeah.
yeah, and she escaped sex trafficking, and she lived to tell about it.
That is an unbelievable story. So frightening.
Yeah, yeah. And this was in Florida, so you know, yeah, very
But it's
frightening.
wonderful that you're shedding light on these stories, Larry.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like it's my duty to bring awareness to situations like that. Whether people listen to me or not, if I can reach one or two people, my job is done.
Right.
I'm just, that's the way I feel. Listen, now here's the thing. When I was doing celebrity interviews and gossip, I had tons and tons of followers. The minute I switched and started focusing on health and wellness, and I lost a lot of followers, but I also gained some loyal ones. But I did lose a lot. And now I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to stop. Messages will get out there. You know,
Yeah, I always call that like I call what I'm doing like my purpose work. You know what
right,
I mean?
right.
And I think even though sometimes the salacious things are what gets the likes or the follows, I think if you just always follow your purpose, like you can't go wrong. Like,
Yeah,
you
you're
know?
right. You're right. I always say people don't need you until they need you. They don't want to hear what you have to say until they need to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone's house start declining, they'll probably say, well, let me go back to the power hour. I think I heard him say something about blood pressure. You know, yeah, I always say, well, a friend of mine says to me, he says, you know what, I follow you and I watch the show. And it's almost like we have the cheat code to life. And yeah, if you look at it like that, it's kind of the cheat code. I mean, telling you how to, what to do. I mean, if you want to feel good, eat. That's it.
Mhm.
If you want to feel good, eat good. When you go out to a restaurant, gorge yourself, not even a restaurant, if you're at home and you just stuff yourself, right after you finish, you want to go lay down, that's not good.
Right.
You're not supposed to fall asleep. You're supposed to get energy. I'm no expert on this stuff. I'm only speaking from my experience with this.
Yeah, but it's so true. So true. And I think if we really not only watch what we feed our bodies, but our minds, like you said, that's the cheat code. That's the key to a happy, healthy life.
Yeah. You have to feed your mind too, because it all starts in your mind. If you start
Mhm.
thinking, oh, I want to go get a big, juicy Big Mac, you think about that, you're going to go get it. You know,
Yeah.
it's so easy and feels so comfortable to have these negative thoughts come to your mind. But it seems so hard and difficult to keep positive in your mind. We have to keep feeding ourselves positive information and I get better. I get better. If anyone out there is going to, not everybody's negative, you know.
Yeah, like life can be whatever you want it to be. I tell myself that every day that I am creating my own reality. And today is a result of all of your past decisions. So if you don't like where you are right now,
We have the
er,
power to change it.
yes, exactly.
Power to change it. All you have to do is just take one step at a time. If you're surrounded with negative people, change that. If you're watching negative television programs, change that. And that's why I look at it. I try not to look at anything negative on television. I try not to think negative. I mean, as far as thinking, my mind is always on lines. I can't even sleep good at night because I'm thinking about what can I do with the show next? What can I do?
Yeah.
It's always going. Creativity, it's always.
Which is wonderful, wonderful. And Larry, we're going to wrap things up now, but I want to say thank you for all of the positive content that you're putting out there, all of the insightful things that you are putting into the world. And before we sign off, will you please tell our listeners where they can find you?
You can find me on Instagram at DJ_Larry Jones. That's DJ_Larry Jones. Follow me on Instagram. And on Facebook, it's DJ Larry, one word, DJ Larry space Jones.
All right, everyone, go out there, find DJ Larry Jones on Instagram and Facebook. Follow him. Check out all the great content he's putting out there. Larry, thank you so much for being on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You've been listening to the How Good It Can Get podcast. Remember, the power to transform your life is within you. So stay mindful, stay empowered, and keep embracing how good it can get.